Have you ever looked at a blood-red sunset and wondered what story the sky is trying to tell? Well, the ancient Greeks had a tale for that. A story of gods, pride, and a fall from grace that scorched the very earth. This is the tragic myth of Helios and his son, Phaethon. In the age when gods walked among mortals, Helios, the sun god himself, had the most magnificent job of all. Every single day, he would climb into his golden chariot, a marvel pulled by 4 horses that breathed pure fire. From dawn till dusk, he'd race across the heavens, bringing light and life to the world below. His hooves struck sparks in the air, and his mane of fire was the reason our days were warm. But Helios had a son, Phaethon. He was a mortal boy, born from a divine father and a human mother, a mix of sunlight and youthful pride. Growing up, Phaethon wasn't surrounded by awe, but by whispers and mockery. Other children would taunt him, their words stinging like wasps. "You're no son of the sun, you're just a boy with a boastful story." These words planted a seed of doubt and a burning desire for proof. Driven to silence the whispers, Phaethon embarked on a journey that would change the world forever. He climbed the treacherous paths to Mount Olympus, the home of the gods, until he stood before the radiant, blinding palace of his father. The air hummed with power, but Phaethon didn't flinch. He faced the towering figure of Helios and made his demand. "Father," he said, his voice trembling but determined, "if I am truly your blood, then grant me one wish. Let me prove my lineage to the world. For just one day, let me drive your chariot across the sky." A shadow of deep concern crossed Helios's face. He loved his son, but he knew the terrifying power he commanded. "My son," he warned gently, "this is not a task for mortals, or even for most gods. Even Zeus, the king of all, fears that fiery path. The horses know only my hand on the reins. The sky burns for no other master." He pleaded with Phaethon to choose any other gift, riches, power, anything but this. But pride, once ignited, is a fire that can consume even the strongest reason. Phaethon would not be swayed. Bound by a sacred oath he had sworn, a heartbroken Helios had no choice but to agree. As the first light of dawn painted the horizon, Helios led his son to the celestial stables. He placed the golden reins into Phaethon's small, trembling hands, giving him one last piece of advice. Stay the middle course, not too high, not too low. At first, it seemed like a triumph. As Phaethon took off, the dawn was brighter, sharper than ever before. The world below looked up in wonder as the sun seemed to soar with youthful energy. For a fleeting moment, Phaethon felt like a god. But that feeling didn't last. The powerful fire-breathing horses soon sensed the weakness in the hands that held them. They felt the unfamiliar weight, the lack of firm command, and they bolted. They veered from the path, tearing across the heavens in a wild, uncontrolled rampage. The chariot swung dangerously low, setting the tops of mountains ablaze and scorching the forests below. The great deserts of our world, like the Sahara, were born in that fiery chaos. The chariot then shot upwards, burning the clouds and threatening the stars themselves. Rivers boiled in their beds, lakes and seas hissed and steamed, and the earth cried out in agony. From his throne on Olympus, Zeus looked down and saw the devastation. The world was on the brink of being consumed by fire. With a heavy heart but a firm resolve, he knew he had to act. He raised his arm, and in his hand, a thunderbolt crackled with immense power. He took aim, and with a single, devastating strike, the boy who dreamed of being the sun was knocked from the sky. Phaethon's burning body fell like a shooting star, crashing down into the mythical river Eridanos, hissing as the waters extinguished his fiery end. The world was saved, but at a terrible cost. For 9 days, Helios was so consumed by grief that he refused to ride his chariot. The world was plunged into a dim, mournful twilight. When he finally returned to his duty, the light he brought was forever tinged with sadness. And so, to this day, the ancients say that when the sun sets and paints the clouds in shades of crimson and blood red, it's not just a beautiful sight. It is Helios, the sun god, remembering his lost son, Phaethon. It's a timeless, tragic reminder of the day pride reached too high and fell to ashes. Thank you so much for journeying back in time with us to explore this powerful myth. If you enjoy stories from the ancient world, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tales from mythology. See you next time.